Conflict can feel like this impossible maze, right? But what if I told you there was a blueprint? Today, we're going to explore a really powerful framework from Alina Chamberlain's book, She Who Awakens, called The Architecture of Aggression. Think of it as your guide to navigating arguments, not by fighting harder, but by rising above them with grace and, well, a whole lot of strength.
So, does this look familiar? That same frustrating circular argument that just leaves you feeling drained, totally unheard, and, yep, right back where you started. It's a cycle that so many of us know way too well. But here's the secret. The key isn't to get better at arguing. It's to step out of that cycle completely.
And here it is, the first big aha moment. An argument is almost never about what you think it's about. It's not really about the dishes or who's late. It's a clash of energetic frequencies. Just picture two invisible forces colliding. Once you really get that, you can stop getting lost in all the little details and start managing the dynamic itself.
Okay, so an argument needs two people to keep its energy going, right? It's exactly like a clap. It absolutely requires two hands moving with force. But what happens if one hand just doesn't show up? What if it just moves aside? That simple choice is the secret we're going to unlock today.
So, to take something apart, you first have to understand how it's built. Let's dig into the 3 hidden psychological roots of aggression, these patterns that we often see. Understanding the why behind an outburst is your very first step toward truly de-escalating the whole thing.
First up, we've got aggression as a tool for control. You know this one. It's when a regular discussion suddenly feels like a lecture. As soon as all the logical arguments run out, aggression can become this last-ditch effort to just force you to comply. At that point, it's not about the issue anymore, it's just about winning. Next, there's something called the mirror effect. You raise your voice, and almost instantly, his voice rises to meet yours. This is just a primal defensive reaction. When someone feels vulnerable or attacked, even if you didn't mean it that way, the instinct is to build this wall of noise for protection. It's so important to see this for what it usually is, a shield, not a sword. And this third one, this is often the most dangerous because it can be triggered by something so tiny. I want you to picture a pressure cooker. All the stress from work, money, family, it just builds and builds all day, completely suppressed. Then, home becomes the only safe place to finally let all that pressure out. So the explosion? It's not really about the milk left on the counter, it's about the horrible meeting he had at the office. Okay, so we've seen the architecture of the problem. Now let's get to the good part, the solution. And this is the most empowering piece of our explainer today. It's a strategy that isn't about fighting back better, it's about making the fight impossible from the very start. Let's go back to that clap metaphor, because this is really the heart of the whole strategy. You hold the power to make the conflict impossible. By just sensing that aggressive energy coming, that hand moving in for the clap, and choosing to gracefully move your own palm aside, you don't take the hit. The aggressor's energy has absolutely nowhere to land. It just disappears into thin air. And let's be absolutely crystal clear here. This is not weakness. This is not submission. It is a profound shift in your mindset. Instead of jumping in to participate in the clap and becoming a victim of his mood, you choose to move your palm aside. You become the calm, observant eye of the storm, just refusing to match that low-frequency energy. And let me tell you, that is a move of immense power. All right, now for the how-to. Because, understanding the theory is one thing, but putting it into practice in a really heated moment, that's another story. So let's open up the practical toolkit. 10 specific tactics from the source material designed to help you diffuse a situation with grace. Okay, here are the first 5 tools. 2 of the most powerful are just the pause, literally just counting to 10 before you say anything, and acknowledging his emotion, not his logic. Just saying, "I can see you're frustrated," can stop an argument dead in its tracks. Arguing about the facts, that just adds more fuel to the fire. And remember that mirror effect? It works in reverse too. If you lower your volume, he's much more likely to match you. This slide really shows the simple but incredible power of using I statements. You are always yelling. That's an accusation, right? It immediately puts someone on the defensive. But saying, "I feel overwhelmed when our conversations become loud," well, that's an undeniable statement about your experience. It shifts the focus from blame to your feeling, and you just can't argue with someone's feeling. And here are the final 5 tools. I want you to pay close attention to setting a cool-down boundary. It is perfectly okay. In fact, it's powerful to say, "You know what? I need 20 minutes before we continue this." This isn't avoiding the problem. It's strategy. And that leads right into the final crucial point. Have the real conversation only when he's calm. That post-storm dialogue is where real resolution can actually happen.
All right, we've reached what is, without a doubt, the most critical part of this entire discussion. These tools are for managing conflict. They are not for enduring abuse. Knowing the difference is completely non-negotiable. Relational mastery means knowing exactly where you need to build your fortress walls.
This slide right here draws the most important line of all. Look, we can find compassion for the outbursts of a stressed-out person. Those last straw moments are often just human errors. But what is never, ever acceptable is systematic abuse, intentional humiliation, or any violation of your physical safety. One is a mistake of the nervous system. The other is a pattern of destruction, and it is absolutely vital that you know the difference.
And all of this brings us to a powerful truth. The goal of these tools isn't to make you better at handling someone else's dysfunction. The goal is to love yourself enough to know your own worth. You can be incredibly skilled at diffusing a quarrel, but you should never, ever have to live in a war zone.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to really think about. In those moments of rising tension, what would actually change in your life, in your relationships, and most importantly, in your own sense of peace, if you simply chose not to clap?